Imagine walking up to a girl, making a quick joke, seeing her smile, and then nothing. You scramble. You throw out an engaging question, try another creative angle, or tell a funny story, but her energy remains completely flat. You are doing everything the mainstream dating books told you to do, being fun, interactive, and attentive. Yet you are essentially slamming your head against a brick wall of indifference, watching your self-esteem bleed out, completely blind to the fact that your frantic effort is the exact thing driving her away. There is a deep, unspoken exhaustion in modern dating, where men believe that if they just talk longer, try harder, or find the absolute perfect phrase, attraction will suddenly spark. Today, we need to dismantle that illusion and look at how human psychology actually processes desire. It turns out, the human mind does not obsess over what it easily receives. It obsesses over what feels beautifully incomplete. This is the foundation of the Zeigarnik Effect, a powerful cognitive framework that, when understood correctly, allows you to flip the script entirely and let her mind do the heavy lifting. To understand why walking away is so intensely effective, we have to look honestly at the hypergamous attention market. In today's digital era, an attractive woman is constantly bombarded with effortless validation. Every time she opens an app, there is a long queue of men validation dumping into her notifications. When you approach her in person and try to drag out a conversation for 20 minutes, her brain automatically catalogs you as applicant number 11. You become completely predictable. And here is a brutal truth most men fail to see. When she laughs at your first joke, that isn't attraction. It is simply social compliance. She is being polite because you seem harmless. If you stay 1 second past that polite nod, you cross the line from a pleasant, mysterious passing stranger into an attention extractor. You think you are building a genuine connection, but you are actually just validating her initial suspicion that you have nowhere else to be. True value is never demonstrated by how long you can hold someone hostage in a conversation. It is demonstrated by the quiet boundaries you set with your own time. This brings us to a powerful shift in behavior: the art of the active pullback. Imagine running into a woman at a coffee shop or a social gathering. Instead of trying to lock her down into an intensive dialogue, you drop a light piece of playful banter. Listen to her response for a brief moment, and then do something completely counterintuitive. You leave. You do not wait for the conversation to slowly die or reach an awkward pause. You step out of the frame while the energy is still high. If you sense her answers turning short or distracted during an interaction, you do not double down and try harder. You pivot right there. You cut the interaction short on your own terms. It requires a tremendous amount of internal control to walk away when every instinct begs you to stay and seek approval. If you have ever felt that anxious pressure to fill an empty silence just to keep her attention, take a second to hit the like button. It helps us know that you are committed to breaking these old, approval-seeking patterns. When you master this behavioral scarcity, you trigger a profound 4-stage psychological transition in her mind. The first stage is simple, unadulterated relief. She expects you to turn into another persistent hunter. When you walk away instead, her psychological defenses instantly drop. But within a few hours, the second stage kicks in: cognitive interruption. Her brain realizes an anomaly occurred. You didn't play the standard script. You brought great energy, didn't ask for her number, and moved on. This rapidly evolves into the third stage: perpetual curiosity. The human brain naturally loathes unfinished narratives. It is why cliffhangers in television shows keep us awake at night. She begins asking herself why you weren't desperate for her validation, wondering if you have more interesting things going on. or if she simply wasn't captivating enough to hold your interest. To solve this mental riddle, she has to dedicate her own emotional bandwidth to thinking about you. By the time she enters the fourth stage, active investment, her brain experiences cognitive dissonance. Because she is spending so much time analyzing you and actively seeking your presence out, her psychology automatically rationalizes her own behavior by convincing her that she must be deeply attracted to you. Her investment creates the attraction, not yours. Some might look at this and dismiss it as a juvenile mind game or a form of superficial manipulation, but that entirely misses the deeper reality of masculine self-respect. Choosing to walk away early isn't a calculated trick to make someone like you. It is the physical manifestation of a man who respects the scarcity of his own life. You leave the interaction because you genuinely have a purpose to return to, a career to build, or a life that you find incredibly fulfilling. You do not stick around to beg for attention because your value is never up for negotiation. When you operate from this baseline of total self-sufficiency, you stop treating dating like an anxious performance. You become a stable, grounded presence, much like the sun, warming those around you, but never chasing anyone for validation. This structural change isn't just about changing your words. It is about a complete renovation of your identity. The moment you truly realize that you are already enough exactly as you are, you no longer need to rely on clever conversational tactics to prove your worth. True magnetic confidence doesn't come from forcing a specific outcome or trying to manage someone else's perception of you. It comes from an immovable internal stillness that naturally commands respect without ever having to raise its voice or beg for a second look. To deeply integrate this quiet, effortless power into your everyday presence, we must look beyond basic behavioral mechanics and tap into an ancient way of moving through the world, one that relies completely on natural alignment rather than exhausting exertion.